Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. How are you all? Are you all having a lovely week? Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I'm currently reading so far this month in September. I've actually got 4 books on the go at the moment. At the time I was going to say, but I mean at the moment. The first book I will talk about is the audiobook that I'm listening to, and that is The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. This is a hella long audiobook, so it's been going on for quite a while. My glasses are filthy, guys. I'm just going to polish them on the bottom of my dress here. I am quite enjoying this book, very, very much so. I had to sort of take a bit of a hiatus of listening to it. David was away for a few nights last week, and although it's not scary, it's definitely creepy, and I just didn't feel like I wanted to listen to it and be on my own in the house. So I'm going to finish it off this week. I'm very much enjoying it. As I said, like, Sarah Waters is just fantastic. I have read this year The Paying Guest, which is one of my favourite books that I've read this year, and last year Tip in the Velvet I read by her. I just think she's a master craftswoman in terms of like setting the scene and things like that, and they really are building up some suspense in this. So you're following the story from a man's point of view, a doctor's point of view, who's become friendly with a local family, and there's some sort of strange goings on at the house, some that he is sort of putting down to mental health problems and things like that, in terms of the brother of the family. But really, is it that, or is there some creepy stuff going on in the house? So yeah, I'm enjoying it, and it's one of those situations where the narrator isn't particularly likeable, but the story is very compelling and you want to listen on. But yeah, she absolutely, like, just tension and atmosphere are her forte, let me tell you. So yeah, I'm really getting on well with that. And then the other 3 books, I mean, I've got 2 non-fiction and 1 fiction. I'll start with the non-fiction. I started Jamaica Inn on Friday by Daphne du Maurier. This is a reread of mine, and from Beyond the Pages is doing a read-along of all of the Daphne du Maurier books. She's reading different ones every single month, and in September she is rereading Jamaica Inn. I am 26 pages through this. I only started on Friday. I haven't actually done any reading, hardly any reading at all this weekend, I don't think. I finished, this is a complete side thing, but I finished Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow on Thursday night, and on Friday I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick up a book that is as good as that book. So I thought I'd go back to a trusty old favourite and reread Jamaica Inn. So for those who don't know, Jamaica Inn follows Mary Yellen, whose mother has just died, and she's having to move to the Cornish moors to be with her auntie and her new husband, and moved to a pub called Jamaica Inn, and her auntie's husband is not a very nice man, and that is as far as I've got now. I know where the story goes, but very much enjoying it. Very much sets the scene. It sets the scene. It says it was a cold grey day in late November, which you think, oh lovely, and when I was reading this it was cold and grey. It's actually much warmer today, and this video is purely filmed on natural light. Imagine that. But yeah, I already know this is a 5-star read for me, and I'm just looking forward to delving back in, and I'm about to have a bath, and I might even enjoy this book in the bath then. And then, as I said, the last 2 books are non-fiction books. The first one is a book that, oh, they're both library books as well. So the first one is Woman's Hour, Words from Wise, Witty and Wonderful Women, with a foreword by Jenny Murray. So as you may know, I'm a big fan of Woman's Hour. I try and listen to it or the podcast every day. It is a Radio 4 show, a BBC Radio 4 show, which is run by women and discusses women's issues, and it's on every weekday, and they have a podcast. And I also particularly love their sort of extra podcast. They've got 2 extra podcasts. One's called Late Night Women's Hour, and the other one is called Unfortunately, which has 2 of the hosts talking about, it's much more like, it's like naughty after school club Women's Hour, which I really like. So I picked this up from the library just because I saw it, and it's basically like a collection of guests that they've had on Women's Hour for the past, like, I think since 70, like it was to celebrate their 70th birthday. So it's some real, they've got some like historic, so for instance here, Mary Quant recalling her Welsh childhood in 1971, and then the next quote is Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling in 2000. So what I will say, like, it's very bitty, like you don't really get into much, and within sort of things like it, and it doesn't, as I said, it doesn't really go into much great detail. So for example, in the self-image chapter, you might have a quote from someone who's saying they're very, very happy in their body, and then a quote saying that they're not very happy in their body, like, and it's all very bitty and nothing's really got much context to it. It's just quotes and things. So yeah, it's not like going to be one of my favourite books ever. I think I probably will finish it. I don't feel like that inclined to, but this is in no way representative of how much I enjoy Woman's Hour and the podcasts. So yeah, not great. Will probably end up being a 2, maybe even a 1 star, 2 star, maybe 1 star, who knows. And then the last book that I'm reading, and I've only just started this, I'm only 20 pages in, I started this yesterday, that is The Diary of a Bookseller by Sean Blythell. Now I read the bookshop book by Jen Campbell at the end of last month and absolutely loved it. My dad and I have entered a discussion recently where I'm trying to convince him to both quit our jobs. We both work for the NHS, to both quit our jobs, and then to open up a bookshop, an independent bookshop, with the money that we make from quitting our jobs. He's not up for that. He's not very up for it at all, but I read the bookshop book and that made me want to do it anyway. And then I'd seen this recommended about a year of someone's life running a bookshop in Wigtown in Scotland, which is Scotland's bookish town. It's the bookshop which he runs is Scotland's largest second-hand bookshop, and yeah, it's written up. I love things like this. It's set out like Bridget Jones's diary. So it's set out in a diary format where each day begins with the online orders that he's had and the books he's found, and then it ends with the till total at the end and how many customers they had, which he notes are customers that bought books. So some days it's like, so for instance this day, the 15th of February, they had 8 customers and a till total of £336.1, but then I've seen on other days it's like £5 £5 and 1 customer. So yeah, so I find it very interesting, and I mean I love books about books, I really do, and books about bookshops as well. It's just fantastic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting more into this. The only thing I will say, the library that gave me this, is that I think the protective sleeve that you've put on over that book jacket is too small, so when I open the book it gets jammed open. So yeah, so those are the 4 books that I am currently reading in the month of September. What are you guys currently reading? Have you read any of these books here? Would be very, very interested, and I will see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye!